morning, students. Let's begin our political science class. Today, I am going to start new chapter in NCRT class 11th book Political Theory and chapter number 5 Rights. Let's begin. India considered to be a democratic country, so people or citizen claim their rights in our country. So when we talk about right, it may be claimed not only for adult human beings but also for children, unborn fetus and even animals. Means these are the claim which one can should after birth or being a citizen. It is in variety of form. The notion of right is invoked in a variety of different ways by different people. For me, right is something which is not same exact if it is matched with the other person. Different people have different rights. In everyday life, we often talk of our rights. As member of a democratic country, we may speak of such right as the right of vote, the right to form political parties. When we form political party, then we have a right to contest election, then right to inform, right to get education, etc. But apart from the general accepted political and civil right, people today are also making new demand for right, such as right to information, right to clean air, or right to safe drinking water. Rights are claimed not only in relation to our political and public lives but also in relation to our social and personal relationship. Moreover, rights may be claimed not only for about adult human being but also for children, unborn fetuses and even animals. The notion of right is thus invoked a variety of different ways by different people. In this chapter, we will explore. So, what we are going to study in this chapter whole? What do we mean when we speak of right? Means what is right? Where do rights come from? And legal rights and the state, kinds of rights and responsibility. These are the topic which we are going to discuss in this chapter. Just now I am going to discuss what do we mean when we speak of rights. What are rights? Try to understand the dynamics of concept. First we cram this definition and then we find out the meaning of some italicized word and correlate these words in real life situation. A right is essentially an entitlement or a justified claim. These claims should be legitimate claims recognized by the society and necessary for leading a life of respect and dignity and our well-being. This is the definition. Now we are going to see there were some word which is underlined. The meaning of these word uh, clear you the actual essence of right in one's life. Entitlement. When we use the word entitlement, what are entitled to as citizen, as individual and as human being. Once a person live in a country as a citizen, what rights that person have, then as a individual or as a human being in a society what right they have. This is known as the known thing which a person can demand or claim as a right is entitlement. These entitlement must be justified, means there is no discrimination when we treat people in a country. Then legitimate, because we elect government, we settle down it, the people those who are representative they govern us, so legitimate people make right for us and we cherish it. It is genuine, legal. Everything that I regard to be necessary and desirably need not mean to be right. Means if I claim something in a country, I want this thing as a citizen of the country, that must be legal. Like, I want to get a healthy life, like pollution free, or a right to vote. These are the legitimate claim. If I want that someone make me PM and this is my right, that is not legitimate claim. So everything that I regard it to be necessary and desirable need not mean to be right. It should be approved by the society. Approval gives legitimacy. The claim, the things which is uh, accepted by the society and justify it, then it is considered as claim. Everything which I want is not a right. There is a difference between what I want and think I am entitled to, and what can be designated as right. Means there is a big difference. What I feel as a right and what is granted by the society, there is a difference. Everything which I want is not considered as a right in my life. Then, right, claims necessary for leading a life of respect and dignity. Yes, this is a right of any citizen in a democratic country to lead his or her life with respect and dignity. Here we can explain this with two example: right to livelihood and right to freedom. When we talk about right to livelihood, necessary for leading a life of dignity, means to earn something respectfully, to engage ourselves in gainful occupation, so that I am not going to dependent on anyone. And right to freedom, there were six freedom, but we can discuss through freedom of expression. है ना? So now we are going to see how it work and make a dignified life for a person. Right are primarily those claim that I, along with other regard, to be necessary for leading a life of respect and dignity. In fact, one of the ground on which rights have been claimed is that they represent condition that we collectively see as source of self-respect and dignity. For example, the right to livelihood may be considered necessary for leading a life of dignity. Being gainfully employed gives a person economic independence and thus is central for his or her dignity. Having our basic needs met give us freedom to pursue our talent and interest, or take the right to express ourselves freely. This right give us opportunity to be creative and original, whether it be in writing or dance or music or any other creative activity. But freedom of expression is also important for democratic government, since it allows for the free expression of the belief and opinion. Rights such as right to livelihood or freedom of expression would be important for all human beings who live in a society, and they are described as universal in nature. Now, another ground on which rights have been claimed is that they are necessary for our well-being. They help individual to develop their talent and skill. A right like the right to education, for instance, help to develop our capacity to reason, give us useful skill, enable us to make informed choice of life. It is in this sense that education can be designated as universal right. However, if an activity is injurious to our health and well being, it cannot be claimed as right. For instance, since medical research has shown prohibited drugs that are injurious to our health, and since they affect our relation with other, we cannot insist that we have a right to inhale or inject ourselves with drug or smoke tobacco. In this case of smoking, if even be injurious to health of people who may be around the smoke, drugs may not only injure our health, but they may also sometimes change our behavior pattern and make us a danger to other people. In terms of our definition of right, smoking or taking banned drugs cannot be claimed as a right. So here we can sum up what are right. Everything which I claim, it is not right. Everything which I claim and accepted by society, considered to be right. So this we already clear with the example. So for today, that's all for the lecture. Thank you very much. and have a nice day.